Hi everyone, this is Ellen Marie Francisco. We're going to talk today about the full moon in Scorpio that's happening on May 1st, 10:23 a.m. Pacific time. Full moon in May in Scorpio. That could be really intense because Scorpio runs very deep and brings great light when we least expect it sometimes. And I feel like there's a real heaviness to this moon. Yeah, feels pretty dark. In fact, it feels like a lot of shadow. A lot of shadow being liberated. It feels like a lot of shadow is being liberated during this full moon. Things coming into light in ways that aren't extremely beautiful and could be a little difficult. Could feel, I am feeling this kind of on the world stage as I'm looking at it now. So could be a lot of oppression that's trying to set itself free as well during this whole moon cycle. Like the oppressive darkness needs to, and I feel like humanity has held a grudge over some of the darkest things that have been happening on the planet for a really long time. And I feel like the energies during this full moon are getting stirred up. So there could be a lot of tumultuous tug of wars, light versus dark, dark versus light, light not being okay with the dark anymore, the dark wanting to be liberated into the light. Not all darkness wants to stay dark, right? Like, I mean, at some point it does want to come up for air and lighten up. For sure, it feels like a very big healing cycle, like a liberating healing cycle where we're going to be able to really do some magnificent healing if we allow it to happen. All right, let's see where we're going with this. I'm wondering what our first card is. Oh, you know what? This is where we ended our new moon on April 17th. This was our final card. It's a lot of eights have to do with karmic destiny, our abundance, our ability to tap into the power force that the Almighty is, whether you believe in a God force or not, or just the universal flow. This is quite the deep dive. So it makes sense that, yeah, if we still have things to clear out, I guess this is what we're doing. I guess we're clearing it out through the Eight of Cups energy and the ability to go deep into ourselves and decide. It is a cup, it is heart, it is a lot of water. So with Scorpio, sometimes still waters run very deep with Scorpio energy. And I would say that, yeah, we're going to be taking a very, very big deep dive into our emotional realities and what we need to do. We would have already had the sense that we need to be lighter in ourselves anyway during the new moon that we just had. And the Eight of Cups is asking us to choose ourselves. A lot of times we'll override what we need for ourselves and we'll let the rest of the world dictate, or we'll let our family or our lovers or our husbands and wives dictate who we are. And yet, at the end of the day, you have to be in touch with yourself, your own inner needs, your own inner desires, and your ability to find that happiness at the core of your being. A lot of times we'll window shop with the world. We'll look at everybody else and what they have and wonder, is that for me? Is that me? Am I going to feel like me when I do that? Am I going to feel like me when I experience that? So a lot of times you have to be brave in the way that you pick things for yourself too. And I feel like if this was the energies that we ended with on the new moon on April 17th, and here we are starting with the full moon, then this is going to be a bit of a recurring theme. And obviously we do continue to grow throughout the weeks and months that we're moving forward on the planet. And I guess this is no exception. So this could be very private. You may need some time alone alone if you're doing this kind of growth or this kind of a deep dive. You may not feel like participating in things in the outer world as much as you dig deeper into your inner world. And again, I'm feeling like liberation, liberation, liberation. So there could be a lot of things from your past lives that are getting stirred up during this, where you may have repeated cycles or had the same thing go over and over and over again. If this is a karmic clearing, then you could be saying goodbye to things once and for all that you don't need to be attached to anymore. And you may be feeling strong enough in yourself to be able to do that once and for all. And you could also be relying on the heavens to allow that to happen even more, and your ability to tune into your own higher self and the exalted versions of your plan. There's always a much bigger plan that we don't have full access to, and sometimes we need to do the digging deep to get to it. So don't be afraid to go deeper into yourself during this full moon cycle. I think it feels like it's almost inevitable that we do. If it's an 8, it's a karmic cycle anyway. Let's see what's coming up next. Oh, we have a 9 of Pentacles coming up as the card that's crossing us in the collective. This is about abundance. It is about taking care of our own financial needs and our endeavors. And if you're remaking yourself with the 8 of Cups or going on a deep dive, it could be that this Pentacles card is coming as a way to remind us of our value and to not leave our self-worth behind, and to make sure that that's also intact, and that we're willing to build our self-esteem through either, better self-care, better company, better approach, our own sense of abundance. You may be saying hello to your abundance. The 8s can be very abundant as well. So you may be looking at everything going, you know what, I'm tired of this lack. I don't want to live in financial lack or emotional lack or spiritual lack or physical lack anymore. I want to live in my abundant true self. And this could be translating to how you take care of your body. You may be finally changing up your nutrition enough where it feeds you better rather than depletes you. You could be letting go of old nourishment patterns that actually weren't nourishing you, and on and on and on. Sometimes this does have to do with our ability to invest in ourselves. It can be estate as well. Like if you do have a house, you may be sitting pretty with equity right now, or you may be making financial decisions that are going to help bring your abundance. So you could be a little more in tune with what you really need to do to take care of yourself for the long haul. These aren't usually short-term cards. These are cards that can take us into the future. And, you could be sowing seeds and bringing nourishment and water to the seeds that you planted during your new moon cycle. And this could just be a whole better approach to how you handle all of that. That's a good place to start. And look who it is. So children, everything. This is like, I think, Save the Children year. Obviously, I saw this in my full moon reading for April 1st, in my new moon reading for April 17th, and now in our full moon reading for May 1st. So this is not a theme that's going away. Our inner child, any child in the universe, any child anywhere needs to be protected, needs to be honored. It is coming in upside down, so it could mean that it may feel like things are going back and forth, where we feel like we're making some kind of an attempt at making things right, and then something goes wrong and all the rest of it. It is a pretty dark moon. So it could be, wow, it could be, yeah, it could be that there could be a lot of sadness when it comes to kids during some of this cycle too, as things heal and things move into better, powerful structures of protection and things like that. also the sense that the pages bring a newness to things too, a new way of looking at things, a new way of seeing things. Ask a child about the state of the world, you're going to get a very different example than if you ask somebody who's been here and seasoned on the planet for 80 or 90 years. And so there could be something about the way the youth of the planet around the world are more vocal or speaking up or less willing to sit on the sidelines. There could be much more uprising and things like that, either because the youth of the world is speaking out or because the adults of the world are acting out to help protect. It could be, I actually feel both of them. I think it's a little bit of both in all regions of the world too, as well as the sense of the nurturing. Like both of these cards that came ahead of us do have to do with nurturing. This is complete selfish, centered self deep dive into ourselves. This touches upon our worthiness anyway and our ability to self-care and take care of ourselves in powerful ways that are going to honor our life force as well as trajectory into the future to our benefit. And then this, coming right after with the Page of Pentacles would definitely hint that we may need new approaches to old problems. We may have new karmas that we're trying to build in ways that suit us better, that are more aligned with our heart path. This was also a theme from our new moon on April 17th. So we have to remake ourselves quite a number of times throughout our lifetimes, and this could be just one of those moons where it's triggering us to make sure we've got a stronger hold on the things that are most important. The world will talk us out of everything if we let it, and I think this is a time to be able to be talked into yourself in a way that will cement some of your deepest desires and your most affluent ideas that are going to help you in the long run. The card that's coming next is an Ace of Swords. This is of the God plane. It can be a lot of great ideas in our headspace, aha moments, bright ideas. It can literally be God force energy coming through this ace as well, where the timing is just perfect for you to see the right thing, get the right ideas. We did have a bit of a blind faith card in my last reading with the April 17th new moon. We're a little bit in the dark there, so our third eyes might have been closed off, and here they're coming back. So sometimes our chakras are like that. They just need a little bit of time to do an upgrade, and we don't have full access to them, and then a few weeks later we get better access than we had before. So I feel like if that's the case with the Eight of Cups that's been asking us to take our sojourn down into the depths of our soul, then it could be that as you've done that, better ideas are coming to the forefront anyway, now that you get a better, clearer understanding of what you need. Sometimes we don't know what to do because the confusion is so thick that we can't get anything done. And it feels like the moon energy this time around is bringing in a lot of aha moments, where you may be able to work better with some of the information coming to you. You may be able to accept it better, like maybe last month you weren't really into the new ideas that Spirit was trying to bring you, but this month you're feeling a little more focused and a little more open-minded about things. This often will change the internal structure of our brain and how it works for us. We might just get better ideas and thoughts all around. You also may be open to listening to more of your spirit guide information because you're that much more attuned to yourself. And again, if you're clear in the things that you need to do, then you're not going to begrudge the insight. You're not going to begrudge the influence that this is coming. And this could be the outside world. It could be your inside world. It could be both, vying for your attention. But regardless, it can be a full new beginning too. And it can be something that you didn't think of before. Oh, I never thought I would have done that. You were too busy being delusional or having one-track minding that you didn't realize, oh, the idea was here all along. So it could be that the best ideas are hitting you in the face right now and you're going, oh, why didn't I see that sooner? Well, now it's here. You can do something about it. And oh, well, we had her last time too. All right. So I always find it interesting as similar cards come up during similar time periods. It does show overall themes that we're working on. The fives to me, they bring change. They can bring slow down to our time schedule. Oh, I wanted to do that next week. Well, now you're doing it the week after instead. Or maybe you wanted to do it this year, but you're doing it next year. So it's not like you're not able to do it or it's not happening. It's just not happening in the time frame that you thought it was going to or you hoped it would. Now, the other thing with the fives too is sometimes I feel the allies around us with this card. There is a flow to the universe. There is a magic that is under all of the other mayhem and above it as well, for that matter, that is working towards our highest good most of the time anyway, whether we believe it, whether we have faith, whether we see it, whether we know it. It's happening regardless. That's where some of the greatest magical moments come from the outer universe just trying to catch up with us. Now, as I know, this is a Scorpio full moon, it does make sense that if some of this stuff was hidden from us before, then I'm just trying to see, do we get to see it better this time around? I feel like some things are still kind of hidden in the outskirts of our lives, but it doesn't mean that it's not working for our benefit anyway. So maybe this card this month comes with a bit of an affirmation, even though I don't know who my allies are. They're busy helping me in the universal flow, and eventually I'll know what that is and how they want to benefit me. It could be that you're allowing yourself to let some help in anyway. It could be that your part, maybe the ideas that you're getting, the bright ideas that you're getting, is that you actually need to accept help from the outside universal flow of things and the allies that are working around you to begin with. So I wouldn't cut off your nose to spite your face during this month. I would say hold tone for things that do want to help you and for things that are trying to break through or to come to you. Not everything comes at once. Sometimes it's a trickle down effect. And yeah, so I would say try not to be impatient during these energies. And what if the best is about to happen because somebody else brings it to you? Maybe you don't have to do it all alone like you have in the past. Maybe there's a whole lot more group support with some of this energy. And that five's hanging over our head as it is in the spread, and it's got its own momentum here. If it's over our head, it's a bit of inevitable force. It's coming to us quickly or slowly or backward, upside down. Who cares? It's coming. I just keep hearing, don't cut off your nose to spite your face. And we do have a lovely Six of Cups coming in as well to us into our doorway of the future. This is a relationship card. It can be long-term relationships, can be friendships turning into lovers, turning into partners, turning into husbands and wives. So if some of your red flags or some of your warnings from previous moons in this last month were telling you to go slow with things, I would say this card is telling us, yeah, slow is sometimes the better way to go, not rushing too much. Matters of the heart, our heart matters, and to work with the love that you have for yourself, for those around you. It feels like it's very relationship driven. And I wonder too, if it's the Scorpio full moon, there could be some things revealed through your relationships that you didn't really think of before, that you may be looking at people and allowing them to be who they really are too. Like if you're taking a deep dive into your own heart this month and having a bit of an emotional karmic reckoning, it's quite possible that you're getting clearer in the relationships that you do have, whether they've been around for a short term or a long term. You could just be understanding them better, and you could understand in new ways how to nurture the ones that are sticking around, that are moving into your future, because the six is definitely in our doorway to the future position. This could be long-term, all the long-term relationships you have, whether they're your neighbors or your colleagues at work or people you share the bus ride with or whatever it is, they could just be, they could be more active to you, for you during this whole moon cycle. And maybe you're allowing them to help you as well. Like I said, they may be allies. We do have a card of, things could be changing around us where maybe all the other people that are going into their own deep dives and they're coming up wanting to be in better relationships as well. So, and maybe their spirit guides have been working on them instead of you having to harp on them, right? Like sometimes it's better just to go do your own work and let everybody else figure themselves out. Well, if they figured themselves out, they may be wanting to spend more time with you, and you may be having clear ideas of what value those relationships actually hold for you in this coming future moment. Yeah, so that's building nicely. And it could be too, yeah, like if you do have an active family with a lot of kids and things like that, yeah, you could be just spending a whole lot more time with them. Oh, we have another ace. It's interesting how the beginnings are coming with the full moon. You think that maybe they would have come with the new moon, but they're coming in through the full moon cycle. So maybe you've been waiting and waiting and waiting for these beginnings, and suddenly they're springing forward in a way that you can work with them. Sometimes this is a very literary ace. It does have to do with the wands. It can have to do with your business, but we had the ace of great ideas and beautiful spiritual truth precursor this card. So it could be that you got the idea first and now you're actually moving into the action once you get clear on what direction you want to go, or the momentum, because you've allowed the outside forces and other allies in your invisible world, or just the force of the universe that's been trying to help you. It could be that suddenly the beginning is coalescing in a way that you can actually make it a real beginning. And you can springboard into something that's right up your alley, totally in tune with what you need, because you took the time to get to know on a heart level what was important to you. And clarity will do that. It'll make beginnings happen with more ease. You may not have even realized something was trying to begin, but suddenly you've got this all this great surge of energy that's coming out of nowhere to help you. Our aces are kind of like the gods coming down anyway. They're like the creator part of ourselves that are trying to speak through our worlds and speak through our day. So I'd say it's a new story. It's a brand new story. And as it relates to relationships, maybe you worked on your relationships enough, or you worked on your relationship with yourself enough that your relationships came into a better exalted version. And now you get to have a new story. So I do kind of get the feeling like if you're on the dating scene and you've been dating, or your boyfriend, your girlfriend went missing for a blink and now they're back kind of energy. Like, I wonder, that's kind of what I feel like. I feel like there could be relationships that had ended that could be coming in with a new story, or you're just figuring out how to breathe new life into them. And as well, that Ace of Swords that we had might have brought you the hint of the ideas that you needed to have in order to get there. So here comes Ace full of good ideas, and then the love and the connection, and then the new story. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And it could be too that if you were waiting to have children with somebody that you loved, that you're under a better cycle to do that now. Like maybe one of you was on the fence or didn't want to. Do we have kids, or do we wait? What do we do? I mean, kids are a long-term relationship, clearly. So there could be a lot of relationships that have been trying to figure out, well, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do about the kids? Do we have kids? Do we not have kids? Do you want kids? Do you not want kids? That kind of stuff could be going on. And then you're under better skies to, impregnate and things like that, where more of the information is available to you. it does a rest. This is a resting card, the Four of Swords. It can be it can be a lot of rest, actually. And it could be that your deep dive into your emotional world took it out of you, and that you are, as a result, listening better anyway. You've had some downtime perhaps, and the rest is still needed. Sometimes you do need to pull off of humanity in order to get your own messaging from your exalted self or from your spirit guides. This can be spirit messages. It usually is a bit of a foundation card in your spiritual growth and your spiritual efforts, and we did have the 8 as our center card, which is a karmic reality card as well. So it could be that spirit inevitably has been trying to reach you, and this is a sign that you're in better form. You could just be in better form to receive the messaging, is really what it looks like to me. Which is great. We need to receive whatever help from the outside world. We did have the 5 basically warning us you could have allies in the outside world or in the invisible world that are rearranging the parts that you don't have any control over to bring you into a better sense of flow anyway. And it could be that your best work is while you're asleep or while you're resting, that you may be getting clearer messaging during those times instead of when you're awake and trying to overthink through things too, because sometimes the Ace of Swords can point at a little bit of overthinking if you're trying to brainstorm new ideas. So be careful not to get too caught up in your brain if these cards are coming through, if these influences are coming through, because you may just need to take a bit of a break and allow things to just happen around you rather than forcing to make them happen. And I guess we've got one last card. What is it? The Strength card. The Strength card is coming in full tilt now. We did have this a couple readings back. I did this in I think it was the new moon in March, and yeah, it was in the new moon in March, and it was also in the full moon in April. So again, here we are. If you're listening to your spiritual self and allowing the information to trickle through your higher crown chakra down into your system, and we do have that sense of the 8 of Cups grounding us into like below the earth level, into the deep, dark crevices of the land and sea. It makes sense that the Strength card is going to come up too, because you would have inevitably built new strengths or new abilities within yourself, and you may be way more comfortable with them because you've cleared out all the things that aren't your karmic destiny or aren't your ideas or aren't your feelings and all the rest of it. So if you're in a better standing with your own emotional body and your own emotional realities and your physical body and all of those realities and your mental plane, and not overthinking or in a delusional state, then you are strong. You've come into a better version of yourself, and you're ready to rock, especially with the aces that we've had. So your new beginnings could be at this new moon coming up in mid-May, and this could be the hint that the full moon of May 1st is bringing those strengths so that you're going to feel more comfortable working with all of everything that you are and all of who you are and all that you love to do and why you love to do it. So I feel like we're giving ourselves more permission. It's coming from the heavens, this sense of the spiritual destiny to be the best that we are in the best version of our heart that we have. And yeah, and Strength is very much a solar plexus card too. And if we're working better with the solar plex energies, then, we're going to want to do more with them. We're going to feel more empowered and stronger, and we're going to be able to just plow ahead without too many inconsistencies or too many doubts or uncertainties. Strength really does bring a lot of courage, and it brings a lot of certainty. And if we're using our solar plexus in the right way, rather than just willing our way with our human will, and we're willing to coalesce with our divine will and our true heart nature, then in a lot of ways we're just completely unstoppable, and you're going to get a lot done, and you're going to feel like you have a better command over your own life, and you just feel like you're part of the journey instead of being dragged along into things that you don't want to do, or have things happen to you that you don't want to have happen. So not a bad reading for the full moon in Scorpio on May 1st. You're coming into new powers. Our spiritual beings are pretty mighty. This is not the time on the planet to be shirking your spiritual self. It's the time to be working with it with more willingness. And okay, and our final card is the Two of Wands. This is the Two of Wands that's coming as our final card. Yeah, well, it makes sense that the Two of Wands would come not long after our Eight of Cups deep dive. It does like to balance things out. The wands does have to do with our personalities as well, and how we show up in the world, how we show up in business, the things that we're willing to do for our business. You could be seeing things in a new way. Sometimes this is a very clear indication of astral traveling. So you could be, as a result of working with some of the outside forces and influences and allies that may be working in the background, trying to help you do things. You might not have been fully aware of them, and then you could be coming into tune with them so that you are in the right flow, feeling like you can be more in tune with the world around you as well. Sometimes this does denote remote working. So, or you could be remote viewing. You could be trying to figure out what's going on over there as you're over here. Sometimes this is very much a I'm in this world, I want to be in that world kind of a card too. It could show as well that you're more aware of your multiple sensory senses. You could really be, and again, I mentioned astral traveling. Like, I do get the sense that some of us need our spiritual messaging, and some of us go to get it. Some of us don't wait around for it to show up. Some of us will take the action and actually go get the information. So, and we did have this card almost like the information is coming through your sleep anyway. So you could be astral traveling a lot during this full moon, working with the energies of Scorpio to go deep into yourself. And we are, like I have mentioned over and over again, we're on a deep dive into deeper portions of ourselves, uncovering strengths and talents and emotional clarities, right? So I kind of feel like, yeah, you could be doing a lot of dimensional work. You may even be doing ancestral healing if that's the case as well, because this is very much a family card and a long-term relationships card. So you may be willing to go through the Scorpio energy and go into such a deep part of your subconscious that it clears some of the ancestral timelines that may have been blocking you or keeping you from, the real parts of yourself that are destined to come forth in new light in these coming months. Very interesting set of cards. The cards, you have to take into consideration what card is beside what card, and what is the collective card, and what are the overbearing influences that we can't escape. It's not just a one card and one meaning kind of a spread when you're dealing with these energies. Be strong in who you are. Be willing to be more committed to your own new sense of self. Again, this is like a rebirth. It is spring. You may have a birthday that's helping you rebirth. It's also not long after the resurrection. So, what's resurrecting for you that has been buried underneath the surface for so long? I mean, imagine how much might be buried down, way, 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 way down, that just wants to come up and be free and be light and be loved in the new light of your new world. Not a bad spread, everybody. I mean, it's work, but it's sensible work. It's the work that's important. It's the work where you get to be whole and you get to be happy and feel more like yourself rather than less like yourself, more connected rather than disconnected, and on and on and on. So I think that we are getting in touch with our multidimensional self as we go on in these years ahead anyway. And this could be a little bit of the precursor to show that's the time. That's what we're doing with our time. Well, there you have it. That's another full moon reading for the full moon on May 1st in Scorpio. Do your best with the emotional debris that may be flying through the airspace, and just hunker down and take care of you. Don't overstretch too much unless it's your own wings for your own reason, and nurture your emotional body as much as any of your other bodies. This is Ella Marie Francisco. Thanks for coming into my channel, and until I see you again, have a great everything. Bye for now.